Welcome back. Now, earlier this week, we were covering the Markeith Loyd case. A lot of cool tidbits that came from that trial. Outbursts, lawyers. We actually got to interview his lawyer that we'll show you later on today. But before we get into that, we want to show you how Markeith Loyd sat there listening to the verdict where he narrowly avoided the death penalty. Let's take a listen to that verdict. We've got a few moments before we all got to head out and go back to our days of defending people. So, Paul, let's start with you. Interesting trial. I think they got it right. Even the defense attorney said that the jury got the verdict right. Is there anything that you can make heads or tail, any final words you want to make of the Markeith Loyd case?
Well, I think that a lot of what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound like the experts are that much in disagreement. I guess the disagreement is about whether he suffered from a delusional disorder, and that would make a big difference. But again, I think that's more along the lines of mitigation. Clearly, the much more difficult trial for Markeith Loyd is the next one. I mean, the next one is going to be, he killed a police officer in cold blood, and there's no way around any of that. And, you know, I think that the big hurdle for his lawyer is going to be saving his life. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting in both parts because one, as you said, and I'll pose these questions to Gigi, some people said, hey, maybe they save his life now, but they know he's going down on for the murder trial against the Lieutenant Deborah Clayton. And then the other aspect is it's going to be interesting to see how this mental health and this extreme cultural paranoia ties into what does someone do when a police officer is arresting them? Is there maybe an insanity defense? I don't know. I don't want to give too many of Terry's defenses before he starts. But what do you think, Gigi?
I think that the cultural paranoia sets up a really good foundation for defense in this second trial. You know, it's not news that Black and brown people are persecuted by officers every day. We just went over 2 cases, just this segment, of an unarmed Black person being shot by officers. So, you know, I think that his paranoia is valid, and this is groomed over years and years and years of himself or people that look just like him, Black men, being persecuted by cops. So I don't think it's unreasonable for a Black man to feel fear when confronted by an officer, despite their race, because these are people who have systematically oppressed him and people like him for decades.
I want to wholeheartedly agree with you, but we only got so much time. I don't want to jump on my soapbox just yet. But I do agree, and I think people are going to understand that, and I think the difficulty of the second case is going to be that clash of not only is a doctor saying this is an actual thing, it's not just what we hear in the media, it's not what you hear in the news, but clashing with the concept of he killed an officer. I think it's going to be a difficult thing for people to grapple with. I wholeheartedly believe that regardless of what the verdict is, regardless of what the sentence is, Terry Lenneman is going to give an absolute stellar defense. And I think it's going to come down to a jury of Markeith Loyd's peers to see how this all works out. We've got a few final moments here. I just want to remind you guys that on Monday, Robert Durst, the hearing is going to be coming up. We're going to be streaming that live for you. Also, we've got the Kellen Winslow, the second case. Jury selection is going on right now. We want to make sure that you check that out as we begin to watch and see, well, who's going to be chosen, who's not going to be chosen. And Wednesday and Thursday, we think we're going to have opening statements. We're going to have a lot of great trials for you. Paula, it's always a pleasure. I want to thank you for having you on. Gigi Gonzalez, always a pleasure. I hope that every one of you guys come back to be with us. Maybe I might be a little biased, come back when I'm on, but of course you can come on whenever.
I'm shooting for Friday. That's my...
But for our viewers, we're going to have Michael Bryant taking over. And of course, we have Aaron Keller, the Daily Debrief. We want to make sure that you guys all come back and stay with us because we're going to be doing more recaps and looking forward to the other cases, getting more expert legal analysis with gavel-to-gavel coverage here, the Law&Crime Trial Network. Have a good weekend and enjoy yourself, everyone.